You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's RuPaul's Drag Race After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's RuPaul's Drag Race After Show.
Hi, and welcome to AfterBuzz for RuPaul's Drag Race. I am Jacque Borowski, and with me I have...
Hi, this is Tony Moore.
And across from me,
Natalie Vratney.
And Cameron Marston.
This is our first episode. There's going to be a shorter season than normal. I don't think we mentioned that last time, and that explains why there are 2 queens leaving every episode. Also, as far as for our viewers, I started a blog. It's 123 Jackie B at Blogspot on Gmail, or on the the Google blog. Yeah, the Google blog. I did this because there were some comments, some choice comments on our YouTube about seeming like we don't know the queens, we don't know the history of the show. We only have a certain amount of time to say a lot of the information that we're going to give. So I put any extra information on the blog, just for fans, for viewers. Initial thoughts of the queens of this episode, surprises.
I think the season is going to be very interesting. I mean, it's definitely
a fierce competition.
Yeah, it's definitely different from like the normal competition that we're used to seeing. They've added a lot of new elements to this. The team pairing, I like to call it the save a hoe button. But I think it's definitely added an interesting twist.
I know, and the teams. The other thing about the teams is I'm so irritated by the teams. I know why it's added, and I see why it's added, and I'm still annoyed because I still don't want to have one person pull up another person or one person bring down another person, but I understand that that's why it was done.
Right, because there's some favorites in these teams that, like, for example, we don't want to see Pandora go, but...
Right.
That was the worst for me, and as you guys know, she's one of my favorites. I loved her Carol Channing impression on her season. And can we call our first guest?
Go ahead and get her on the line now.
Yes.
And you wanted Pandora on first?
No,
Jose. Okay, we got Jose. Give him a call now.
Josie.
And overall, I thought the queens were, like, I like all of them. I think they're all well polished. They're put together, and it's exciting to see a season where it's like no one kind of looks raggedy, or do they call it a booger queen? They all look good.
Yeah.
Well, this is I read an article recently where RuPaul was interviewed, and they were asking about the differences, and it's like the obvious difference is they've all been on TV. They're all veterans. You're not going to have, like, when Shannel started her season, she had only been doing it for like 5 months.
Yeah.
So you have highly seasoned queens, and every outfit that was coming out like across the board was fabulous.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
There was nothing I could write. There were personal critiques I have where I'm like, oh, I don't like this belt, or I don't like, but really that's nothing to say aside from that they're all highly professional. So it's
and it makes me sad that it's going to be shorter season now, because I would have liked to see this quality of, stage presence for a longer run.
Which makes me wonder how they afforded this $100,000 prize if they're going to shorten the season like that, as far as sponsors.
Oh yeah, shorter season, so less advertising.
But they're still giving the $100,000 prize.
I mean, it is RuPaul and it is Drag Race, so and we're all familiar with these queens, so I'm pretty sure it's going to do well, and hopefully we'll have a season 2 of All Stars.
I hope so, because there's a lot of queens that I would have liked to see come back. So
well, while we're waiting for Josie, I mean, does anybody have an idea as to why Mimi was brought back? Was it by voter response?
There was like this.
She was third on Untucked. They said that she was third amongst fans, and apparently, and this was another post from one of our fans on YouTube, basically pointing out that Mimi has a huge following and she performs live in Florida, I think, and that again came into play on Untucked.
Yeah, and it's obvious she stepped up her game because she lost all that weight. She looks good, and I felt bad for her when Pandora was clearly disappointed.
Well, hey guys, I just want to give you a heads up. What's going on with our Skype right now is that don't have current credit, so I'm going ahead and giving Jose a text, so he'll call in. So just take your time, enjoy your conversation. He'll call in when he's ready.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
But I think overall, like all the queens who have come back with a thinner, polisher look to all of them seemed like they went through some sort of transformation. Like they saw themselves in seasons before, did a couple of things, not like surgical things, but like they lost weight. They, brought better hair, better costumes, and in order to prepare for All Stars. I mean.
Exactly, yeah.
What was your favorite outfit? First initial queens are walking down the street. What was your favorite outfit?
Raven. She had, I think you and I both discussed earlier. I'm sorry, no. Who's wearing the skeleton looking? That was
Yara.
I loved.
I think we have Jose on the line.
Jose? Are you here?
This is not Jose.
Oh.
Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself. That's fine.
My name's Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Hi, Justin.
I have to tell you guys that I was an instant fan with you guys.
Oh, thanks.
And I didn't catch on to your show right when it first came out, but I saw the Frenemies episode that you guys did, and it was instantly hooked. I had to watch every one afterwards. So I immediately went to iTunes and downloaded everything I could get. And can I tell you, I've been the object of pointing and laughing because I have been laughing hysterically on the train, at work, and everywhere I could possibly be laughing.
That makes me so happy. It's nice to hear a positive comment.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we are, as you know, we're very opinionated. So sometimes that doesn't go over well. What were your initial thoughts? What were your initial thoughts on the first episode this season?
I really thought that some of the plot twists have been. I mean, can I tell you that the plot twists are definitely something that's going to keep people interested, and they had to kind of step it up for All Stars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely, I think that as far as like the queens go, I feel like everybody was kind of dressed to impress, with the exception of Raven and Rujubee. And like when Rujubee made that comment of like she's feeling like she's at the mall, I was like, yeah, you used to work at the mall.
We have.
Are you referring to their initial like when they first?
Yeah, when they first walked in. Yeah.
I actually, it's interesting you said that because when I looked at them, not Rujubee so much, but Raven to me is usually so striking and so overstated that I thought that this was done on purpose.
I think they wanted to keep it simple.
Thank you for calling. We have Jose on the line, so we're going to bring him on.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Hear from you.
Hello, Jose.
Jose.
Hello.
Hi. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Because Justin was like, "This is not Jose."
No, it's okay. We love to hear that. So Jose, Jose is a blogger. He has a blog called The Gay Beaner. And he blogs about Drag Race. What was your initial thought of this first episode?
If just to quote Manila, I was gagged. Like from the beginning, just seeing come back into the workroom once again. It was good. It was legendary. It's like seeing history repeat itself all over again. Except now they're all stars and now they've got their own style. But as soon as RuPaul made them pair up with each other, I died.
Yeah.
What was your favorite outfit? Initial outfits when they're walking on the street. What was your favorite outfit?
My favorite outfit was Rujubee. I'm sorry, hands down, she looked fierce and sickening.
The perfume clerk look at the mall.
I've never seen Rujubee like that before.
It's simple and classic.
Yes.
Yeah, there was
simple, elegant, and just to the she looked gorgeous. You could eat sushi off of her.
I wrote my comment on Jujubee was understated but very fishy.
Nice hair.
I love the red hair on her.
Yeah.
Jujubee looks really good in red hair.
And she seemed taller than because she's a short, but when she walked in, I was like she grew like 10 feet.
Yeah,
it's her presence.
Looked
and
really
her
good.
heels probably.
They're inserts, girl. They're inserts.
I couldn't pick a favorite, but I did have I loved Pandora's dress. I love that it was like a Tim Burton kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
I felt like the dress itself was moving her.
Mm-hmm.
It was very it was very cool, and I like that she was the first person who came in because she's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
I loved Manila's, as I call it, Cruella de Vil.
Yes. I like the hand
Yes.
that came out that was holding the cigarette.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I know those are her tradition. She does a lot of black, white, red.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, but I think that she did it in a way that's a little bit more unusual than she would typically do it.
Right.
I've seen that look on her before, though.
Yes.
I saw it in her video. It was the video she did actually with Sahara before she passed away. Her newest video, Best Accessory. I've seen that look. So as soon as she walked in, I was like, oh. As soon as she walked on the street, I was like, oh my God, I know that look.
Yeah.
And do you guys? We were talking about people losing weight. I actually think Latrice lost weight.
A little bit.
She's like. The way she was fitting into her dress, normally Latrice likes to wear these big, kind of muumuus.
Yeah.
And the way she was fitting into her dress, though, the first dress, I thought it was great.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, she's spending a lot more time in Hollywood as well, right? So you are affected by your surroundings. And I think being surrounded by all these queens, it's competition. It's a, dog-eat-dog world. So I think she's going to be affected by that. And whether it's actual working out to lose weight or it's stress loss.
But yeah, I think it's more so being in a competition, type of show, you tend to I think lose weight a little bit throughout. Not
that's
not that
these
you're
fall
trying
reality
to, but
stars. They see themselves after one season, they come back and they're noticeably different.
Even Mimi lost weight, and that was a shock to me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Mimi was more one of the queens that wanted to lose weight, initially to be on All Stars and to just look better, versus maybe just being on the show and being under the stress of the competition and things like that can slim you down.
What did you guys think of Shannel's dress? I'm a fan of really costumey things because I did theater when I was a kid. So this Beauty and the Beast Broadway dress was
very Shannel.
Was so killer for me.
I like the idea behind it, but I just think it's too much. That dress in the runway show when she walked in, it was too much, and I wasn't really interested.
But I think Shannel overall is just a very theatrical queen.
She's costumey all the way around.
It's
even her character.
Yeah, there are queens like Shangela who will dance the house down, but people like Shannel, they come in with hallelujah. But there are people like Shannel who come in with these larger than life costumes, and you just kind of look like, did you make that? Did you get that? Where does that even exist?
Well, what do you think of her her costume for the Opposites Attract photo?
But that's what drag is. That's what drag is.
Exactly,
drag is
I agree.
Your style and putting it into an art form. I mean, it can be costume basy, but I mean, drag is.
Drag is an exaggeration.
Correct, but you also have to have the character to back it.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
True. Very true.
Being a fashionista, why not take it to the next step and be high fashion with it?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think it all depends on how you are. What type of queen you are.
Yeah.
Will depend on how you dress.
So let's move on to the teams and the competitions. So Team Latrila won, and they. I really liked.
They were the Teletubbies.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
My problem was, and if you guys know where to find this, please let us know. I really hate when they show the photos so quickly. I almost want on Logo TV or something like that to have a roll of the photos that I can actually take my time to look at it without pausing it on the TV and then being like, I don't know what this is.
Right.
And that way. Oh, do you know, Jose?
I have them.
You have them posted on your blog?
I will tomorrow. Unfortunately, today was my birthday. I'm not sure if anybody told. I'm not sure.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. And I was celebrating, and I really didn't have the time to publish it yet. But I took individual shots of all the pictures, both challenges, where they both had to take pictures, and I have all of them. So, I mean, I have the finales of each one.
Well, there you go. As a companion piece to this, you can go to the Gay Beaner website and look at each of the photos. And I also think a lot of these team pairings, when I was watching the video and they're going through the photos and you're seeing them move live, I would have picked different photos for a lot of those than they initially picked themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of them chose ones where they're not interacting as much, especially in the ones where the rain is coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be better, like, for example, Chad, Team Shad, they had other ones where they were really interacting, and then they pick one where they're both like staring off into space, and I'm like, I don't know why you would do that.
But I think that particular challenge was supposed to be different from the half-baked one. Like that, in that particular challenge, they could have been not so interacting with each other and to kind of give whatever character they were trying to be, you know, that sort of sense of ownership. Like, this is this character, this is that character, versus the half-baked one, where they kind of had to have a little bit more interaction with each other in order to, like, make the photo work.
Right.
Right.
Jose, did you have...
Mike Ruiz didn't take the pictures, because you know he's always been the first one to take pictures episode 1 of every season prior.
Well,
I know. I'm wondering. I don't even know why that would be.
Yeah.
But Jose, did you have like a top, like a high top moment or a really low moment as far as those challenges go?
The only thing that the only thing that really spun to me was the interaction between Pandora and between Mimi. I mean, you could tell that the friction was there. I mean, yeah, they killed the challenge, they did it. I mean, but Pandora made it seem like she was coming for Mimi. Like, in every stance, everything that we saw, you could see Pandora like almost. I mean, I'm not trying to read her, but like trying to like lash out towards Mimi, like, and putting the iron on her skin.
You can read her. Read her. She deserves it. I think you should read her.
She had a negative attitude the entire challenge.
Let me put my glasses on.
It was very
The
unprofessional.
library is now open.
We're gonna read and open the library for a minute. I mean, honestly, like, I think she was really being shady about it, you know, trying to burn Mimi, and it's like really, it's like the image, and then stepping on her face, it's like, really, come on now.
Well, not only that, if Mimi's gonna spin herself, if she's gonna fail, she's gonna fail all on her own. And we were talking about this during screening. Pandora had issues, self-esteem issues, and that was kind of her reveal in her last episode.
But I think Mimi has them too.
That may be, but Mimi tried. That's and she might be the type that tries too hard, but Pandora gave up. And for me, I'd rather you leave the show. Why be on the company? Somebody else could have been in your spot.
She said that in her season, one of her biggest, they criticized her for not believing in herself, and that's exactly what she showed in this first episode.
But
she just didn't, once she had Mimi as her partner, she just stopped believing in herself.
Bitch, press the button. You could have taken over and kicked her off the stage.
Yep.
Imagine coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go home.
Imagine coming into this thinking like, you know, I've worked on it, like I'm going to come in and show them what I have. And then Ru goes, now you're being paired. And then to be paired with someone that you don't want to be paired with. Like, I kind of see why she was just like, oh, great. Like, I'm screwed.
You know, the cards you dealt, and, you know.
We can bounce it either direction. Because I understand that as well. She's like, okay, I'm completely screwed.
Yeah.
But in the same token, she talked about, you know, I believe in myself, and if that's the case, girl, you're in a competition.
Yeah.
If I was Ru, I'd be pissed because literally you just quit. You literally packed already.
Although in Untucked, it was Mimi who packed and
she could have saved herself and sent maybe Chad and Shannel home, but no, she decided to lip sync live. I mean, girl, you are in a competition. There are $100,000 on the line.
And it wasn't like Pandora was screaming for attention. Like Mimi was like, I want you to feel bad for me and follow me out the room. But Pandora literally just sat there like a broken doll.
Well,
okay, well, thank you, Jose. We're actually going to move on now. Happy birthday, and thank you so much for calling in on your birthday.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Mwah.
We had a sip of water for you.
So this is one of the episodes in which I think Untucked, you had to watch it. It was a true companion piece to this.
Yeah.
Usually Untucked is like, you know, something that
they
I
have
feel
many challenges where they just
that is a standalone. And this one, to really understand what was going on and to understand why there was a lot of hostility already towards Mimi coming into it, you had to have seen Untucked and understood to kind of get what was going on. So if we can try calling our next person.
I was so excited to see Willem.
Yes.
Yes. I love me some Willem. And you know what's interesting? I didn't like Raven's choice to get naked, but it's funny because and I love Raven, but I think that if you're going to do like naked versus clothed, take it all off. Don't have a wig, don't have anything. I mean,
well, I think in the challenge they
it
still
just didn't make sense.
They still had to be done up in drag. So.
But then they should have done it like Willem did on his season, where it still looked really super girly. Whereas you're like, oh, it's a guy in a wig. Whereas Willem, you couldn't tell as much when he got naked.
While we're on Raven, because I actually agreed with Tony when we were talking about their entrance into the workroom in the beginning. I'm not a fan of Raven. I don't hate her, but I do agree. There's part of me that actually respects the fact that her and Rujubee, they didn't come decked down. They came casual but pretty, and they're like, there's nothing I have to prove. You know, I'll bring it in the competition, which maybe they didn't do necessarily. But I liked that swag. That's kind of a swag to me.
Right.
Simple, elegant, like, you know, not everyone has to be over the top and overdone. But
well, I feel though that
characters do carry them. I think Raven is such a strong character, and so is Rujubee.
But I think Raven normally, to me, is normally such this over amount of presence that you're like, okay, she's got to dress down a little bit.
But you also can say that she's now pushing the fact she clearly lost a lot of weight. If you look at her from seasons past, so there's part of there's a certain ego part that says, I'm gonna rock it. I don't need to hide behind clothing now. I have a different persona to bring for you.
And going back to what you were saying about her being done up, it goes versus her and versus Willem. Willem, his style of her style of drag is
Mimi on the line.
Okay, very real, like real girl, versus Raven, she understands that it's drag, so she's gonna give you character looks and things like that. So yeah.
The show, Mimi, you're on the line with
Hi,
AfterBuzz
Mimi.
TV.
Mimi.
Hi. Hey, so we just saw you go home tonight.
Sorry.
I'm sorry to say that. How was this time on the show different than your previous time on the show? Like, how did you feel going into this?
Well, I mean, of course, going into it is such a different experience going into it the second time around. You kind of know a little bit more how the game is played. But still, at the end of the day, they add in, new elements, and, you're competing as teams, and, it was kind of a whole bizarre new experience.
A lot more pressure, right? Because you did have the experience already, so you kind of expected to bring a little bit more, right?
Oh, of course, and you have a history now with all these girls. So you're not competing against complete strangers. You're competing against people who are your friends and people you work with.
How is there anything you felt that the show left out? Is there anything that you wish you could say to people about your experience that wasn't said on air
or on top?
Well, I mean, it's always going to be hard because, first of all, I think the thing that people don't realize is that you're not watching a documentary.
Right.
You're watching a show that's an entertainment program, and a lot of people, I still think, really believe they're seeing exactly everything exactly how it is, and it's the whole truth, which would just be impossible. You're filming, for days just to make one single episode. For instance, that episode was, I think, 3 days of filming, and you have 12 cameras, and you're shooting all this stuff, and somehow you have to narrow that down to less than an hour. It's literally 48 minutes worth of television. And then there's the confessionals on top of it. So you're seeing a very small and super condensed version of what
actually transpired.
Yeah, exactly.
Mimi, do you feel like sometimes that people don't understand you, or they still don't get you and the drag that you present?
Oh, of course. It's so funny because I think that people have such weird preconceived notions of who I am based especially on season 3. Which I think people get edited in lots of different ways, and that's all part of it, and that's all what you sign up for. You really can't complain about it other than just to make people kind of aware of it. But I've for 2 years now, certainly that's been something that I've struggled with. People have this weird concept of who I am, and that is completely, not even close to who I am. You're watching this very you know, it's funny because it is such a weird, specific thing, Drag Race, and it's its own world.
Yeah.
And you know, people think that that is everything about you, you know, and it couldn't be for anybody, you know. So it's kind of interesting to see how people can put ideas in their head. And you know, I think a lot of people don't know me, and I think I'm one of the most misunderstood and, you know, incorrectly, you know,
like categorized,
stigmatized.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm one of the more misunderstood queens from RuPaul's Drag Race for sure.
Yeah.
So on Untucked, we I actually was told by a fan that you do a lot of live shows, and on Untucked there's the kind of scuffle between Alexis feeling upset that she lost her job to you. But then you come back with the point of it's not my decision, which is a great point. It's
well, it was even less about it not being my decision. It was, you know, I've been reflecting a lot on that the past.
Well, what I took real quick, what I took from that is you made a very good point that this is a job. It's about money.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going after her, but I also, if you've been around queens, we all know how queens, just like men, can be very territorial. And whether you intended it or not, I understood why the animosity was there. I didn't think it was justified per se, but I understood your explanation is like it was a job. You had no control over the decision of her losing hers. So I respected the fact that you came at it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And the other thing too is, you know, here's my philosophy on the whole thing is that I didn't think it was my place to talk about what happened at her job. You know, it's not my business to come in and say you got fired from this for X, Y, and Z.
It would have painted you. It would have painted you bad anyway for bringing it up. Period.
True. She wasn't even fired. Like, it's so ludicrous. And if you like really think about it, first of all, we're talking about a bar that's in Florida. I live in New York City. You know, there's 100 gay bars here. Do you really think I'm going down to Florida to go after somebody's job?
Right.
Like, come on.
Right.
Give me a freaking break. Like, it was that part of it was so absurd, and I think Alexis also didn't want to talk about it because you know there was something that did happen at a bar that we had both been working at, and it was uncomfortable for both of us.
Yeah.
You know, and it was other people who brought it up. You know, it's you know it was just kind of the whole thing was that I thought was one of the most silly things that I've experienced in Drag Race history.
Yeah.
So I also saw that your band Excel. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
They released a video recently. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we just released our third music video for one of our singles, Queen, which is on our first album called Queens. And the music video for Queen and the entire album for Queens came out today. So you can check out the video on YouTube and our website, excelmusic.com, and you can also buy the album Queens on iTunes. Just search for Excel, Xelle, and it should come right up. But it's definitely been an amazing project. We've been working on this album now for 2 years, and the music video is a lot of fun. It actually features, 9 of my Drag Race sisters, from All Stars, as well as from season 4, Jiggly Caliente and Fifi O'Hara. So.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Much
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add before we go today?
No, I'm just very happy and very honored to be a part of this, whole world, and it's kind of insane, and I still can't believe that I've had good things happen to me that have happened, and I'm really enjoying the ride, and I just feel so lucky, and I hope that everybody else in the world gets to, do what they love to do.
And that's a great redeeming factor, the fact that you actually acknowledge and respect that you've been given an opportunity, and it's a privilege rather than the entitlement issues that we do see in our community. You live in New York, we live in West Hollywood area, so we see it all the time, so I respect and appreciate the fact that you acknowledge that.
Well,
you gotta work hard, and you gotta do what you want to do, and you can never give up. That's the thing,
Yeah.
Thank you, Mimi. Thank you so much for calling in.
Mimi.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Next call.
Damn, she made me like her.
I know. Well, that's it's points to
the person, Mimi, rock on.
Yeah, it points to, but that's the thing is like it points to the whole concept where she said she's being misunderstood.
Yeah.
And when you're when you're taping a TV show, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, I don't know enough about Mimi to feel one way or the other. And that was my initial comment in the preview. And I'm like, you have to have a villain. Like, they always want to paint a villain.
She had a great attitude.
But you also have to understand it's drag, it's performance, and sometimes you get into character and it's like a switch, it just goes off.
Yeah.
You know, if you're around queens, there are different personas behind, you know, off stage. They're totally different people.
And the thing about Mimi is that you can tell that she really puts in work with her drag and her gimmicks and her looks and things like that. Everything is so well thought out.
The only thing I will say, though, is Michelle Visage, I agreed with her comment that if you lost all this weight, you do not pick out a dress where you have a foo-foo Big Bird on your midsection.
I agree.
But
you know, Pandora could have...
We have Pandora on the line.
Hi, Pandora.
Pandora!
Oh, Pandy.
Why didn't you tell her to take that thing off her waist? Just kidding.
Hey, Pandora.
Is she here?
Hello? Pandora, can you hear us?
Pandora, press the button.
Press the Save a Queen button. What was it? What is
Save
it
a
called?
Hoe button.
Save a Hoe button.
Turn your radio down. I don't know if that applies.
It could.
For this,
it could.
I hear it on the radio all the
podcast.
time.
Oh, turn your radio down.
Well, let's continue talking. What were you saying, Tony?
Yeah, she's lost all this weight, you know, and so
she came in with a corset, and she looked great in that corset. And I remember writing, I was like, her boobs are fabulous. Like, she had this corset, her boobs were sticking out.
But when you lose the weight, you have to start to practice what you feel and comfortable in and look good in.
Right.
You can't just throw anything on because you might have lost the weight, but you actually have to become comfortable with what you're wearing before it starts to look.
You
got to carry
advice. I don't know. I feel like
we already decided she checked out.
She
so
should
it's not gonna
just
happen.
let her know.
But you know, but also when you do lose weight, because I lost about 20 pounds, and when you see the new body, you have to get used to it. Like, it's like, I've done all this work, and this is where I want to be, but now all of a sudden it's like, I have a new body. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
No. So,
can you guys hear Pandora?
Yes.
Pandora.
What up, Pandy?
Pandora, are you here?
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Pandora. It's Tony.
We just saw you leave on RuPaul's Drag Race, and I have to say you're one of my personal favorite queens, so I was devastated.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love your Carol Channing impression.
Raspberry.
That was one of my favorite moments from seasons past, because I'm a huge Carol Channing fan too. So I was like, oh, this is great.
And she nailed it.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Pandora, I'm not gonna lie. I was sad that I felt that you kind of quit, and you were one of my favorites as well, coming in here. So, but you know, I'm sure that there's something in line for you.
So can you speak, Pandora, can you speak in light of that comment? Can you speak to your experience on the show and maybe tell viewers something that you wished was put in that was left out, or additional information that they don't have? I know, that's a weighted comment.
The overall experience was interesting. You know, I don't think what any of us expected. And so I think actually watching the online version, I was kind of mad because there was a lot left out. But then when the aired version played, the RuPaul's episode, it kind of showed more of what went on, because it wasn't just me like being a brat and sitting there going, you know, like pouting. So that was the only thing that I was kind of like disappointed in, because there was more to it. And there was times that we did get along. Like after Mimi did my red clown lip 6 times in a row. After that, we were working together and we were totally fine.
What were you thinking the entire time while you were there? Because it always cuts to like your faces, and you always just look like
defeated. I didn't think that you looked pouty to me. I just felt that you looked defeaed.
And I feel like this is again like a master cut thing. Like, if you ever had a happy face, they were not going to show it.
They're not going to show that.
Well, I think, you know, Mimi, first, is really like amazingly talented. I think she's funny. I think she's great at what she does. But I think she was kind of thrown in as like the wild card.
Yes.
And kind of like the one no one expected to be on the show. And you can tell by everybody's reaction when she walks into the room. And so kind of to be paired with somebody that, you know, had a controversial exit from the show, and was controversial on the show, and then to be partnered with her, I did feel defeated, because I felt like we could never go very far.
Right.
And then they called our team Mandora, and then I really felt it, because I was like, why we get the only name that's like a fucking awful joke.
Yeah. So see, that adds more to it, like why you were frustrated on top of being paired with Mimi, and then now you have Mandora, and you're like, ugh, really? Like, it's just one thing after another, after another, after another.
Well, how did you? Oh, go ahead, Natalie.
I want to know who was your first choice and your second choice. I couldn't see that far with the television.
Who was my first choice?
Yeah.
My first choice was Rujubee, but I knew Rujubee was going to pick Raven. So, but I was like, well, just in case she doesn't, I'm going to pick her anyways. So, but I knew it was going to happen. And it was fine. I mean, it's kind of like when you're put in that situation too, you're just kind of like, God, I'm like, who's going to pick me, and who do I pick? And because I'm friends with a lot of the girls,
did you have any
relationship? There was always somebody that I felt like was closer to them. And so it's just like an awful situation to just sit there and
it's
go.
Like the last pick for the dodgeball
team. Realize right then and there that you know my chances are like getting slimmer. That I even have the opportunity to go far.
Who was your second choice? Because clearly you never picked Mimi.
Manila.
Manila.
That would have been a good. I think that would have been a good team.
That would have been a good pairing.
Because you were my two tops for the walk into the introduction. Yeah. I liked your outfit and hers, and I thought you guys have the same quirky character to different extremes.
Yeah.
Speaking to that, I mean, how was your preparation for this different than your preparation for the other show? How did you feel going into this versus how you felt going into the other show?
I felt really good going into All Stars. You know, they kind of gave us this like amazingly long list of like 17 costumes we may need a week and a half before, so it was kind of stressful. But I really went in, you know, having done a season and having like been traveling and constantly working for like since the show ended. So like I really feel like I've improved a lot, and you can always improve in life no matter what you're doing. And so I really felt like I went in really, really prepared, and I was really excited, and I think that's why I even felt more defeated, because I was just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, it's hard when you
I never thought that they would ever. Like, I just didn't think that we would get a fair chance as a team. I mean, that's really what it was.
Right, and then the whole concept of it being a team. Yeah. I mean, you go into this thing thinking I'm bringing what I've got, and I'm there for myself.
And having to alter.
Then having to alter your strategy.
I will say, because for AfterBuzz, I usually bring the human concept for me. I will say the difference from your season and this season is, although I do feel that you quit or you gave up this All Stars episode, your composure is so much different. You look less broken, and of course it was emphasized when you made your reveal about your life and what you had gone through in your actual original season. But I think your composure was held. I didn't want you to quit and give up, but I do think that you definitely grown internally.
Well, I think you're beautiful, because you're the queen that I would want to look like if I was a drag queen.
You were sick down the street. Yeah, no, definitely.
Pandora, do you wish that you would have hit the save a hoe button now?
Please. Just please say yes, even if it's not true.
Well, I call it the she-mergency. It is known now as the save a hoe button. Do you wish you would have either lip-synced instead of Mimi, or do you wish you would have hit the button now?
No.
Damn you.
Honesty.
Damn you. Okay, why?
No, because I really.
You were done.
I just really felt that it wouldn't have made a difference. Like, I feel like we were going to go home. So.
I feel you.
I just wanted you to act out and just bring your normal craziness to it, just to leave a lasting impression.
And if I really felt like I could have saved our team, I would have. But I really just kind of felt, with everything that they were saying, and Mimi walking off the set and everything that happened, I was just like, I think we're just gone.
Well, I loved
I love that conversation too. That conversation that you had with Mimi, where you're basically like, pull it together, last ditch effort.
Yeah.
And your dress looked amazing. I thought you looked amazing in your dress.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your little feather things were in the right place, so the wrong place. Anyway.
I feel sorry for those Muppets.
They're sexy Muppets.
101 Muppets had to die for that outfit, so it was well worth it.
I'm calling PETA.
Well, you know, when they don't like something, if you can make a joke out of it and make them laugh, then generally they start to like it better.
But see, that's what I wanted to do it by pressing the button to completely turn it around.
Yeah.
So Pandora, what are you up to now? Before we go, is there something that
plug, girl, plug
performances you want to plug?
Well, you know, my new song.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
Came out today.
I just watched that.
There's so many things happening today.
And about your penis.
I love it.
It was wonderful. Thank you so much, Pandora, for calling in.
Yeah,
We're going to miss you on the show.
Thank you.
And I know you're in New York right now, and you've had a busy day, so thank you
So
for
we
calling
really
in.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, Pandora.
All right. You can download episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race on iTunes. I'm going to go into news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Sahara Davenport, otherwise known as Antoine Ashley from Season 2, died of heart failure on October 1st. I know that's a long time ago, but I felt we needed to say it here.
Yes.
Manila Luzon is his boyfriend. RuPaul tweeted, shocked and heartbroken over Sahara Davenport. Never occurred to me we'd lose one of my girls. I see them as immortal.
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in Washington. The ceremony will be broadcast on October 30th on PBS stations. DeGeneres joked while accepting the prize, "Thank you to everyone at PBS. I'm so happy to be part of your farewell season."
Do you guys want to take a fan call?
Can we finish this little segment and then we'll take it? Okay. October is LGBT History Month, and in honor of LGBT History Month, the Huffington Post has a daily article featuring Icon of the Day. Yesterday was RuPaul. Today is the artist Tom of Finland. They basically changed his name because it was so Finnish that that it was people were having a hard time pronouncing it. Not that you should ever do that.
Familiar with Tom of Finland?
Tom of Finland's drawings were some of the first to depict gay men as healthy, happy people, and they helped positively shape the gay culture around the world.
That's one way of looking at it.
If you want more information on this, of course, go to the Huffington Post. We don't have enough time to speak about it here. Okay, we'll take that caller.
Hi, caller. Caller, you're on the line.
Hi, caller. What's your name?
Hi, it's Courtney.
What up,
Courtney?
I hate you so much right now.
She's been trying to call all night. I just haven't had a chance to get her on.
Courtney, he was actually just trying to not have you call in. That's what it was.
So funny. I've tried like 3 times.
You miss us.
I was so excited to see this episode, and you guys have done a great job recapping it. I've watched your whole show. It was amazing.
Every time I see Yada Sophia, the first thing I think of is Courtney.
And I'm so sad that there was no love really given to Yada Sophia in this episode from you guys. So
well, her outfit in the beginning, her outfit
was amazing.
Her outfit in the beginning was amazing, and I liked it because it looked like bones. And I know that's a stupid thing to say, but I was like, I like her bone dress.
Oh, I'm sorry, Courtney. That hair is janky. Her hair is janky.
I liked her hair.
Over it.
Don't talk about her. She's perfect in every single way. And I have absolutely nothing of anything to add to anything that is
And did you see her spicy little dance on the runway when she was when they did the walk? She was like dancing back.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
That's so
awesome.
Yada.
No, Yada is. She's in my top 5. She's not my top 3, but I just can't get over that.
Courtney, who had the best wig? We know you're an expert wig judger.
I was not pleased with most of the wigs, but I guess for like the whole episode, it has to go. It has to go to Jujubee in the red hair.
I knew it.
That's my favorite.
Everyone loved it.
The red hair was good.
Yeah, except I'm sorry. I know how y'all said earlier that it was all good, that she was all simple and whatnot. That's some bull-ish because she literally had on a little jersey wrap dress that looked like she should have been standing in front of them all somewhere.
That was her
perfume clerk.
That was her daytime real girl just got home from work look.
She could have put on a cocktail dress. She could have had on a badass suit if she wanted to be like that. She could have done a little bit more than the little black. What was it, black or navy blue?
It was black.
Something.
Well, she could have worn a mermaid costume with her red hair and then fit in with the Beauty and the Beast theme and the Cruella de Vil theme.
Disney.
It would have been amazing.
I say simple and cute will always get you through.
I am not.
I don't vote for that.
Yeah.
The wig was
That's
hot.
my vote.
Even though to people who are watching this, like I don't dress very ostentatiously, but if I was a drag queen, I would wear like a blinking bus stop as a sign, as a dress.
That's a lot.
A blinking bus.
Well, then everyone will stop to you.
Exactly. That's
Every
what I'm
time
looking
you walk
for.
by.
Stop. Check it. Stop. Collaborate. I don't know.
Well, I just say I like Chad Michaels' wig in the end. No, not the end.
The beginning.
The pictures, when they did the pictures for straight wig.
Oh, the straight.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like the runway wig. I was over her. I'm not big on the costume.
Who's your favorite team, Courtney?
That's really hard.
It's because it's in the beginning.
I have to stick with Yada.
You like Yarlexis.
Lost some weight. What's her face?
You just like people who wear their face on their own dress.
Alexis Mateo.
Yes, Alexis Mateo, and the boobs and the booty were kind of right, balanced.
Kind of,
yeah.
You said kind of right.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Chad's one blinking boob at the end.
Oh, the little Kim.
She had great fake boobs, and they were winking at me.
And I like whatever Chad and his partner did, like where they stopped in the middle of the runway and the dude like pointed to him and he rose.
I love that.
Very theatrical.
Very theatrical.
And that's
Drama.
why I love
But
Chad.
Courtney,
She
maybe
always
you'll
brings
chime in
something to the
because
runway.
we have similar anger issues, like maybe sometimes.
Similar issues.
Because Jackie loves Chad Michaels. I love Chad as a performer. She's definitely polished. But I think in this episode she came off like she was not gunning for people, but she was more outspoken than she's been before.
I think that's because she felt robbed.
She was a little bit more catty.
Yeah, she felt robbed, so she was talking into her gem in the hologram earring.
But it didn't
I
come
thought
off.
she came in with more confidence. She came ready, and it might have.
Yeah, but it almost seemed
work for her in this
for me. It
episode.
seemed fake. And again, we had this conversation. Like, there's still something about her that's not, for me, genuine.
I totally agree. She came across extremely fake, and it was very weird. And they were excessively intellectualising that dumbass photo shoot. Like, I was like, come on. Don't like
I love
it
me
at
some
all.
Nina Flowers. I'm telling you. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so the next episode is going to be them impersonating their favorite celebrities. Vicki Lawrence is the mama from Mama's Family.
I love Mama's
That's
Family.
what you were talking about. It came from the Carol Burnett show, but I didn't put two and two together until recently, and I was like, oh my God, she's Mama from Mama's Family. That is my jam. That is my jam. I just can't wait. It was such a good show. And also joining her is actress Busy Phillips, who I love her. Whatever.
I love her.
Was she on? She's the one on Freaks and Geeks.
I just like her on Cougar Town. I think I think I'm the only one that watches Cougar Town.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're keeping the show on.
Yeah.
Courtney,
on TBS.
Courtney, are you still a fan of Santino? Bambino?
I love Santino.
I mean, he was still, yeah. And when he was talking about the patterns on that black and white dress, it was all over the place. He was right. I'm sorry. He was still on point for me.
Courtney, I liked Chanel's pattern dress. I thought the pattern.
It was a bold choice.
And the Opposites Attract photo shoot?
Yeah.
It was
she
a bold
looked like Kris Jenner.
Yes.
Yeah, she did. But
exactly. It was a bad Kris Jenner.
But I
Kris
actually
Jenner
liked
designing women.
I liked it. I thought the patterns worked in their own unique way. It was interesting. I personally liked it. But that's just me. Don't hate me.
All right.
See, there we go.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Courtney.
It's a good season.
We'll
I love
see you
it.
guys next week. Have a good night. Download us on iTunes. For other shows, go to AfterBuzzTV.com.
Check out your blog.
You can tweet Jackie at
123Jackie_B.
You can tweet Tony at Loungin' with Tony.
You can tweet me at Natalie Vratney.
At Tomakava777.
And check out my blog. I also posted a video of Mimi on the blog.
Check out the blog, then post a comment. I'm just saying.
It is hot in here.
I know.
The one time I worked.
Executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals. The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not...